The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone. This is Josh LeMaster. I'm one of the co-founders and chief financial officer of Perfect Golf Event. Appreciate everybody taking the time. See a lot of familiar names, and this is our uh, another exciting opportunity to tell you about what we have learned and what we have provided as a tool for many of the Perfect Golf event organizers to really protect from one of the biggest threats that you might have, which is weather and rain specifically. So in a minute here, I'm going to introduce my colleague and friend with Vortex Weather Insurance, but just to give a little bit of perspective, in our 12th season here, we've worked with tens of thousands of events across the country, and this is by far one of the biggest risks that we help our event organizers mitigate. And we looked at other solutions like event cancellation insurance, which is definitely has its place, but can be a bit cumbersome, especially for the smaller events and events that maybe are only operating once a year. And when we saw how Vortex handles that, we really saw it as a great opportunity for our organizers. So to that end, not too long ago, we started including a smaller piece of coverage in all of our upgraded events on the Perfect Golf Event platform, and then have the opportunity to add to that as you see fit. But with all that said, I'm going to turn over to Eric here. What you will see today is being recorded, both the video and the sound, and then we'll send that out as a link afterwards, along with a PDF copy of what you see on the screen. And of course, it'll have my contact information and Eric's contact information if either of us can answer any questions. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. If you see the chat tools should be in the top right of your screen. Don't be afraid to get on there and chat and ask a question. We'll make sure it gets covered before the end. I'll be watching see if anybody raises their hand as well. So. And I'll jump on there and just shoot everybody a chat in a second. With that said, let me introduce Eric Anderson with Vortex.
Josh, thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Great to have you for our sixth webinar of the year. Very, very big group today. So thanks to everyone across the country for logging on and participating today. Like Josh said, it'll be about only 20 minutes or so, followed with a little Q&A. It'll be recorded and sent to you. And then afterwards, I'd love to chat with you, price up your event, answer any questions on the side. You can email me, call me, text me. Really look forward to explaining our product and how we can help you in your event. Like Josh said, the weather insurance is embedded in all of the upgrades, but usually the customers call me to add additional coverage. So for those of you on here, I'm happy to provide that as well. So we'll get through this in about 20 minutes and save the questions until the end. So we're very excited to be going on our 4.5 to 5th year with Josh and his team. They're the best in the business. We're super excited to continue our relationship and partnership with them. So again, thanks for everyone for joining. So we like to say, don't let bad weather slice into your club's bottom line. You can't predict the weather, but you can help protect your business from it. There's a myth out there that insurance agencies don't know weather. And it turns out we're weather nerds. Our team, sorry about that. Our team has over 100 years of combined experience in the weather risk management industry, and we've been helping protect events since 2008 using data-driven policies that mitigate risk. Vortex Insurance Agency, LLC, is a subsidiary of MSI Guaranteed Weather, which has been in the weather risk management industry for more than a quarter century. And since 2008, Vortex Weather Insurance has specialized in insurance products for outdoor events, fairs, festivals, concerts. And in 2019, we started offering rain insurance ideas to the golf market, not just events, but to golf properties, heavy play weekends. But we understood out there that there was a real need for charity events, fundraisers, memorials. So we really went after it. We built our product, and we're super excited to be in the business now for several years, but helping customers and all of you and Josh's customers mitigate their risk. We're asked this every day. Who's our carrier? They're our owner, Mitsui Sumitomo. We're rated A+ by AM Best. They're our paper, so they back us. Here's a picture of me. Nice to meet everyone. I am the National Director of Sales for all of the products. I've been in the weather derivative space for 20 years. I'm still in it. I still trade weather. I played golf professionally before that when I used to work at Augusta National, home of the Masters. So I've been around the game a long time. I've been around the weather space. I've run tournaments. I've played in tournaments. I know the pain points, whether you're a first-time organizer or you've been doing this for 10 or 15 years. I understand budgets. And what we try to do is really help you understand what's at risk and then get to the sweet spot for the hours, the amount that's at risk, and then the thresholds in the budget. And we'll get to that in the presentation here, but also afterwards when I get to meet all of you. There's a myth out there in the golf business that you can't fight Mother Nature. We say not so fast. You can stand up to Mother Nature and help protect your revenue with Vortex. Across the country, savvy golf course operators and event organizers are using rain insurance as a risk management hedge. And as a hedge, you want to think about, okay, what goes into that hedge or protection? The anticipated heavy play periods, seasonal monthly hedges, Monday golf outings, but the golf outings can happen any day. Holiday weekends, this coming July 4th, big 3-day weekend, 250th year. We've been doing a lot of tournaments for the whole weekend with July 4th. The fireworks, firecracker tournaments, all kinds of neat things for clubs and events. Members and member guests that we can help with. If you have a 2-day event, we're doing a lot of pickleball, golf, and tennis all combined in one, hedging opportunities. So then you want to say, okay, well, what's at risk during my tournaments and the pro-ams, right? And all the kinds of events that are out there. What is exactly at risk for the play-related revenue? So what's your equation? You've got your floating revenue numbers, your on-course revenue numbers, the food and bev, the alcohol, the merch. You might have drone drops. What is actually at risk to the equation? You have fixed costs. You have to pay for the golf course, right? You have to pay for the help, all the food, the barbecue. You could have a gala or a fundraiser at the lunch or afterwards at the evening time when people come for that part of it. There's a lot of different things that I get to see out there. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. It's just not, okay, Eric, I need to protect, $10,000. So we can walk through that, help you really understand what's at risk, and obviously try to save you money by getting the right hours and really what you want to protect. Okay, so this is an important slide. So rain insurance versus property and casualty insurance. The chance of sustaining an adverse rain occurrence for a golf event is significantly greater compared to traditional P&C events like auto and fire, etc. So here's the chance of a potential insurance claim on a single day over a 20-year period. 0.015 for car, 0.003 for home. Very, very small. So if you look at this picture of the United States as a comparison, here's the chance of 1/4 of an inch of rain falling on any single day between June and August, significantly greater. There's a myth out there that rain insurance is complex, and the good news is Vortex makes it simple. And this is how it works. Rain insurance is parametric. So rain insurance is triggered simply if the recorded rainfall at your location meets or exceeds the threshold listed in the policy during the coverage period. Proof of loss or event cancellation is not necessary for the policy to trigger and pay a claim. This is an index-based product. So you can actually have a triggering event, okay, and you can have your event. It does not need to be canceled. If you have a policy from 11 to 5 and it triggers in the first 20 minutes and you have a sunny day, you get to have your event and you get paid. And when you do get paid, you get paid in less than 2 weeks. Sometimes it's less than a week. We pride ourselves on getting the data. Every customer, whether there's a trace, a triggering amount, or zero, you get an expiration report sent to you. And then after that, if there is something that's if there is an amount that's triggering, we send a check in the mail. So you can, when you get the money, you can do whatever you want with it. You could spend $5,000 to the caterer, $8,000 to the golf course. It doesn't matter. The check is yours. So how rain insurance works. We work with a company called WeatherWorks for our claim determination system. Okay. They work with the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the data is hyperlocal. It's not at an airport where it's 5 or 10 miles away. So we eliminate the basis risk in the reading. We come right down on top of your property at your address, and through a blend of technologies, the radar is kept hourly on the hour every hour, and then you'll get the report. WeatherWorks, they provide recorded hourly precipitation measurements as little as 0.01, triggering rainfall thresholds as little as 0.01. I wanted to show you one more thing here. Okay, so the policy options out there. Shotgun coverage, we all know what this is. That's where everyone gets on the golf course. Usually it's 4 to 5 hours. Hopefully it is. Sometimes people want 6 hours. Sometimes people want extended hours. Okay, so what does that mean? Sometimes there's a double shotgun. There's a shotgun in the morning and a shotgun that overlaps into the afternoon. Or you could have a 27-hole tournament. You could have hours where you have a pickleball tournament starting in the morning, followed by golf, or tennis, or a combination into a concert or into a gala. So we can write for more than 4 or 5 hours. We offer ladder coverage, which means the more that it rains, the more that you're paid out. I'll show you that in a second. And then we built a product called an escalator product, which pays out every 100th of an inch, which after I understand your event and I talk to everyone on the call and I show you the different pricing, I will send you different escalator options and show you how it works. So the parametric options that go into the equation and the costs are the hours that can vary per day for multi-day events, the rain thresholds, the amount of rain that must fall for the policy to trigger, 0.01 all the way up to an inch. Sometimes people buy, very, very high thresholds, washout protection. Some people can't lose a single dollar. So I'll show you all the different ranges in between. The insurance limits can be varied by day. And we can get really creative in helping you do multi-day events, overnight protection. I write 2 policies per day, sometimes overnight and then during the day as well. And I'll show you how all that works. Okay, the use of hourly data allows us to concentrate only on the hours when rainfall could negatively impact business operations. So just recently, I had a couple customers they experience a lot of rain. One shotgun started at 7, one at 8, and the rain came overnight and hurt both golf events. So in looking at this, I'd rather people say, Eric, offer us some guidance. I always say, if it were me, I would rather have the hours bought on the front end and 2 or 3, sometimes 4 hours before the event starts, because in both of these cases over the last 10 days, their event, it was completely sunny during the time of the event. There was no rain, but the golf course had experienced so much rain that it was unplayable. So I can show you how to push hours to the front rather than the back, because if people are there historically, if they're through 14, 15, or 16, they're usually going to go inside, hopefully have more food or a bunch of beers and spend money on their golf tournament and the silent auction and those kinds of things. But if you add the hours to the front, it adds to the aggregate. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is that when you add more hours, you probably want to take a higher threshold, which makes it cheaper. So I know how to push and pull those numbers, but I'll show you all of those things when I get to have a call with you. Okay, here's a grid. Sometimes customers say, Eric, what's the data at my location. I said, okay, that's no problem. So you can see here, this is just an example here in Ponte Vedra Beach, about 30 miles south of Jacksonville, where Josh and I reside. And it's in the afternoon here. You can see that in the summertime, it rains more in the afternoon than the morning time. Whether it's winter, obviously it's going to rain less in the winter than it does in the summer here, but these are the kinds of things that I can help you. And if you need to see the 5-year data, I can send you a grid. That's no problem at all. So there's a myth out there that rain insurance is too expensive. And in reality, our team works for you to create a policy that fits your needs and budget. So the pricing, the rain insurance is priced using historical probabilities. Your location, Arizona is going to be, less expensive than it is here in Florida in the summer versus the winter. Like we said, afternoon time of day, rains here more than it does in the morning time. The duration and risk period, that obviously the less hours, the less expensive. The higher the amount insured, the more expensive. I think we all understand that. So here's a grid. An example, in the winter, 5-hour coverage on $10,000 down in Palm Beach Gardens. In this example, if you were to buy option A, if it were to rain anytime between 10 and 3, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit each hour, if it comes in 15 minutes, as long as that amount were to touch 0.20 or go higher, that the customer would receive $10,000. This is our standard product. You buy an inch threshold. If it touches it or exceeds it, you're paid. Here's our ladder insurance here in Ponte Vedra Beach. It was a bigger tournament. $150,000 was at risk in the winter, though. So this means that if it were to rain and touch 0.20 and not touch 0.33, you get 10% of the limit. So you get $15,000. If it were to rain through 0.33 and not touch 0.5, you get the $15,000 and the $45,000. So you get $60,000. So it's step insurance or ladder. So the more that it rains, the more that you're paid back. Here's an example of a 3-day member guest. The coverage period was different each day. The threshold remained the same, but the limit stayed the same. So this is what the customer wanted. Each day was independent. So for you folks out there that have multi-day events, or you might have a gala or a band playing for some of the bigger events, you could buy a 3 or 4 hour policy for that. And then, for your golf tournament, a 5 or 6 hour policy. Here's a customer that I've worked with for lots of years. He did have a rain date. He got paid $25,000 really quickly, as you can see. And then he went ahead and he bought rain insurance for his rain date. I've done multiple events for this group: golf, skeet shooting, galas, all kinds of anything outside. Here's some of our professional relationships. I've worked with a lot of PGA sections, PGA Reach, that they all buy back from us. PGA Magazine, I've done a lot of events for the NFL. Alumni, on the professional side, the PGA Tour, the Travelers. This is our 4th year. That's in a couple of weeks here. And the Dick's Sporting Goods Open, I'll be up there next week in the Champions Tour. Each of these events, the Tour and the Champions Tour, each had 6-figure payouts, and they buy the ladder insurance from us. Folds of Honor, I work with several sections across the country. Buffalo Group does all of our marketing. They're excellent, and obviously Perfect Golf, Josh and his team, they're the best in the business. So as we wrap up, Josh, here's a few testimonials, but do we have any questions from our rather large audience today?
Yeah, thank you. I've got a couple of questions, easy ones for you, but good questions. So the first one, what paperwork do they need to put together to show that there was rain? I think is the gist of the question.
Yep, great question. And the beauty of it is you get all of the customers, they don't have to do anything. We provide all of that for you. So within 2 to 4 to 5 days after the event, we are looking at the hourly reports that we receive from WeatherWorks and the NOAA for some of the embedded products. And once we get those, our in-house data analysts and our PhDs, they make sure they go through all of the data to make sure it's correct, and it always is. And then we send you an hourly expiration report after we make sure that everything is perfect. And if there is a triggering event, you're getting the check turned around really quickly. Usually, the folks that experience rain, they come to us and say, "What do we need to do?" So we pay attention to all the events, and we know when there's rain. So we work closely with all of our customers. But you don't have to do anything; the customer doesn't.
So just add one thing to that. If you're a Birdie and higher upgraded software package with Perfect Off Event, you're going to see what Eric's calling an expiration report, which is essentially a rain report by hour. You're going to see that even if it was 0, you're going to see that after your event as soon as it gets issued by their provider. So I've got one other question here. Our event's not till September. When do we need to buy?
Good question. Everyone's different. If you were to say, Eric, I need a quote right now, that quote is good for 45 days. We encourage that you buy it on the earlier side than the later side, but we understand that you have to some folks, you're raising money, you have budgets, those kinds of things. The last drop dead day to buy the policy is 15 days prior to the event. So I'm asked that one all the time too. But if you can, try to buy it on the sooner side. But if you were to price something today, that price won't change for 45 days.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. I don't see any unanswered questions on chat. Eric, thank you so much for the presentation as always. So everything you've seen here will say 30, 45 minutes. You should see it in your email with a link where you can watch the video or share it with others on your committee. If you want a kind of a non-vortex question answered, feel free to reach out to me. I can give you the ins and outs after several years working with Vortex. And of course, if you want to talk about coverages and so forth, Eric will give you a hand. Eric, I'll let you say goodbye. I appreciate everyone taking the time, and just look for my email in about 30 minutes.
Thank you, Josh. And thanks everybody for joining today. Really appreciate your time. Please reach out to me. There's my information, but Josh is going to send you everything as well. And just let me know when you're free, and we can get on a quick call, or I can talk to you through email and price up your event. And again, everybody have a great day, and thanks again for joining.
Thanks, Eric.